What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rant to no hate. So, I was watching Jermell Charlo, and I spoke several months ago about this particular topic. And I want to salute Jermell Charlo and Canelo for what they both done up until this point in this fight and how they've been conducting themselves. And if you guys, I could play the audio, and it's just like so self-explanatory of what my points are. Basically, starting with, both of them really, if you watch the press conference, there's no trash talking going on. They're just, ready to go in there, prepare for that fight date, September 30th or whatever, and, they're going to get it in. So there's no need for all of this talk. You're a bum, you've done nothing, you cherry pick, blah, blah. Like, people do all this nonsense, and then they pretend they hate each other so much just to say, I'm selling the fight. And it's like, when are people gonna just get old with that? When is that just gonna get old and people go, all right, whatever. Do all that talk and then the fight doesn't live up to the hype, or the person with the most mouth is the one that loses. A lot of these, content creators love to do videos. Who won the press conference and whatever. There's no real harm in it. It's just, when you look at the history books, what it's not gonna say. Well, he won the fight, but the other guy won the press conference. Nobody cares about all of that. That's really just petty stuff to me. Just whatever. I've seen situations where my thing is when someone is talking, and let me say this to make my point clear. Like when you heard me talking about Claressa Shields versus Savannah Marshall, my thing was I'm listening to what each fighter is saying. The people watching, it's like they're making comments that it's like they're just making stuff up. And I'm saying, how does your imagination make you think? Like they were saying Claressa Shields was nervous, she was scared, and they saw a lot of nervous energy in her. And I'm saying, wait a minute. Claressa Shields say, see, that's the difference between me. You think you could beat me. I know I'm going to whoop your ass. Simple. And she's sitting there, eye contact. She's not stumbling over words. Every time they ask Savannah Marshall something, she pauses, she hesitates, then she sits there and smile. And then she give an answer as if, like she's not even sure of what she's trying to say. So you heard me saying, this fake beef nonsense, they don't need this. This fight's going to sell because of the fighters involved. You want to know what? That's what gets my attention. And just like with Charlo and Canelo, it's the two fighters involved. It's not all about this fake beef and you could have fought me back in the day, you ducked me and you did this, and I don't care for all of that. We see this all the time. It comes down to who's going to bring it the best come fight night, and that's all it comes down to. Now, what I respect about what they did is they held it down and they behaved like grown men, not a bunch of little angry kids, all this hyper screaming, hollering, and fake beef nonsense just to end up hugging and saluting each other after you did all this insulting, taking shots, physical shots, verbal shots. So what happened was this, okay? Canelo, this was a fight hype interview, both interviews, okay? And this guy, literally, Canelo, he's talking to different people. This guy, Brian Custard, was on the stage. He comes off. So this is right after the press conference. This grown man literally stood there and waited for at least maybe a minute and a half to 2 minutes for Canelo. Because Canelo was talking to different people. He's back and forth. Hey, Canelo. And he's standing there. He did all of that just to ask Canelo, hey, Canelo, what do you think about, can I ask you, what do you think about Caleb Plant slapping Jermell Charlo? And Canelo just looked at him and said, nah, that's not my problem. That's none of my business. And he kept walking. And I'm sitting there like, finally, someone wants to respond maturely. That's just thirsty. That's just childish, it's immature, and it's just tasteless. You do all of this. Not only that, he's fighting this man's brother. and you are asking him a question, as if, he's supposed to make comments and especially go into detail, and say what? You're fighting this man's brother. He's not fighting Jermell Charlo. He's fighting Jermell Charlo. And these content creators, these reporters, these people, they love to ask the stupidest, lamest questions. And I'm knowing he thought he was going to get a different response. He thought he was going to get some sarcasm, something, hey, good, he deserved it or whatever. And Canelo didn't even feed into that nonsense. And this is what I'm talking about. Because they love to stir up the pot. And even though Jermell is the one fighting him, you know what was going to happen? There'll be a day this same reporter is going to interview Jermell Charlo. And you know what he's going to say? Well, I asked Canelo what he thought about the slap, and Canelo said, and then it's back and forth. And they use any little dirty tactic just to get content for their channels to talk about. Just to post these videos up just to get views and likes and subscribers. And these are like giant channels, man. That's it's so desperate, so thirsty. But Canelo handled that like a champ. He didn't even feed into it. That's not my problem, none of my concern. It's not my business. And he kept walking. And just the fact that this grown man stood there all this time, and that's the question. That's what he wanted an answer for. It's like, man, grow up. Worrying about a goddamn slap. Now, on the other hand, Jermell Charlo, he's being interviewed. A reporter, fight hype, don't know if it's the same guy, but he's asking Jermell Charlo, did you see what Terrence Crawford posted up about you? This is exactly what I mean about these guys. And Jermell says, nah, I don't really be on social media too much. I'm on Instagram a little bit more, but nah. Well, he says he's proud of you because you're conducting yourself like he does and this and this. And so Jermell says, I don't care what he say. Like, I conducted, I don't even watch him. I don't even pay attention to this guy. I'm just being me, right? And basically the guy's like, what, people love that passion. And he's like, well, I'm always going to be passionate and all, but bottom line, he shut that down. And he's telling him, like, when people respect me, I respect them. He said, he's, brought up how, Tony Harrison was talking crazy, so I'm talking crazy. What you want? You want me to be stupid? You want me to get opinions? Like, what y'all want? This is exactly what I'm talking about. Passion has nothing to do with stupidity. It's always, like, as a kid, people, hey, Aries, such and such said, okay, well, I'm right here. You don't have to tell me. He don't have to tell you. Have him come tell me. I don't want to know what he said. If he have to tell you, there's an issue. He must be afraid of me then. Because I'm right here. Because you start to feed into these things. And the reality is, so what? Somebody said something, and so what? Who cares? He just had his fight with Spence. I'm about to have my fight with Canelo. Who cares what he said? And the fact is, like, I really feel like, honestly, these fighters are not mean enough to these reporters. Because it's like, look, you help me, I help you. Because my face is on your channel, people are watching. But if you're going to ask me questions, don't come up with these stupid questions. Because it's like you're just trying to have my face on your channel, say a bunch of things, ask a bunch of stupid-ass questions. Like, I'm not fighting Terrence Crawford. I'm fighting Canelo Alvarez. Same thing. Canelo's not fighting Jermell. He's fighting Jermell. And this is all they do. They act like but they always, I just made a video about people talking about females is this and this, but these dudes act just like a bunch of females. Always want some drama. Always want to know something. Always want to, it's always like the wrong way. The approach is all wrong. The interest is all wrong. And I was just so like, yeah, I was proud of the way they both handled that. So, it's not passion. Jermell or Canelo don't have to raise their voice or do anything. I'm interested in the fight because of the two fighters involved, not because of the drama. That's the turn-off point for me. So for the interviewer to stand here and say, but people love that passion, that's not passion. It's just bullshit. Because if I call you a bitch-made motherfucker, you know why I'm saying it? Because I think you're a bitch-made motherfucker. Not because it sounds good. oh, they gonna love it when I say it. No. So I'm cut from a different cloth. So I don't say things just to say it. You understand? And I tell people, I see you in person, I keep the same energy. I'm not one of those, well, I'm just saying it because, no, yeah, I said it, I meant it. In fact, you want to know what else I said about you? What you want to do about it? That's me. And I've always been that way. Well, you know, it's just what Jermell said. It's more than just, I want to see you fired up. No, no, no. That fight, and that's what Jermell said. This fight will sell itself. We don't need all that. Okay. Okay. So for me, it's like, yeah, these guys like to ask these stupid questions just so they can go back and repeat what you say to the person that they're telling you said something about you. And there's fights that may never surface, but you know what's going to happen? They're going to have you saying whatever on their channel and people going to click. Nobody's clicking on to see those content creators. They're clicking on to see the fighters and what they're saying because they're interviewing fighters, okay? It's different when you're, like me, sitting in front of a camera bringing the news. Okay, they're not clicking on because they care about what this fight hype guy, you know, like his take. They're not giving their take on anything. They're just asking questions and stirring up the pot. So, yeah, I mean, these fighters need to be more sturdy with these people, man. And this is, and you know, I understand, like when I see a fighter and he snaps on a reporter, people think they have bad attitudes, but it's because not only just what you see, but things that you don't see. And then you got fighters that they get wind of these videos and realize, you know what, you're in my face now trying to interview me, but you was talking trash about me. It's a difference with having a different opinion. You can think that one fighter is going to win against another guy, but when you're like trying to shit on a fighter, like if I say I think a fighter is a shit fighter, yeah, I think you're a shit fighter. That's what you are. You have no skill or whatever it is about you. I'm not going to sit up here and say it, well, I'm just saying it for the video. And, you know, and this is what, like I say, these guys are sitting here sniffing around like a bunch of puppies waiting for the owner to come out the door and take them for a walk. You know, they handled that right. And another thing that I saw that was pretty cool was, I don't know where they were, what type of event it was, but Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney was in the same, you know, building wherever they were. And, you know, they embraced, they talked, and they're in front of the camera. And they said exactly what I told you guys a couple years ago. Man, these guys know each other, go way back. They fought in the amateurs. They actually have each other's numbers. These guys get along. And they, like they said, look, it's not realistic that this fight's going to happen anytime soon. But when the time comes, when the time is right, the fight will happen. And, you know, that's that. But you always have people in the comment sections that have to, oh, they look at him, now he's scared. Oh, this guy's this guy's that, blah, blah, blah. They want the drama. They want the drama. Why would you want these guys to sit here and BS you around? They know the fight's not happening anytime soon. If it does happen, and it probably won't, more than likely won't be at even 140, probably 147, maybe 154, who knows? Because right now, if you notice, what was the last thing we heard about Ryan Garcia? He told Rolly Romero, all right, Rolly, you want it, you got it. Isn't that the fight that we was told he was supposed to have? Nobody want to see that fight. Now, do you hear any more talks about Rolly Romero versus Ryan Garcia? Okay, the last thing that, you know, we heard about Devin Haney was that they was trying to, you know, make the fight between him and, what's the other dude at 140 that he fought, he won, but he didn't look so good. Anyway, but, you know, bottom line, Regis Prograde. Do you hear any more talks about Prograde versus Haney? No, you don't hear any talks. So we don't know what's going on. So, you know, instead of sitting there going on separate cameras and talking trash, they were sitting there chilling, relaxing, and Devin Haney said, hey, let's see who punch harder, because they had one of those like speed bag, like that measures the power of your punch. And actually, Devin Haney won by far. He hit it with the right and the left hand. You know, and Ryan even had a little warm-up. Told him, I hit it like 3-4 times already. You need more, no warm-up. But it was just funny. They had fun, and then that was that, and they went on. But it was kind of funny. Like, yeah, Devin Haney's power was, yeah, his punch was harder. Okay, but it was just for fun. Why do y'all want to see these people actually really hate each other? So when you hear Aries say, it turns me off to see these people pretend that they're enemies when they're not. And for me, You know, it's like to have a fighter sit up and two fighters sit up and pretend they hate each other, and they're on the phone like, yeah, they buying into it. Yeah, this fight gonna sell because yeah, they really think we really hate each other. But you know, hey, it is what it is. Just stay in shape, man. Stay injury free. Blah blah blah. Hey, what you doing tomorrow? Yeah, man, let's go bowling or something, man. I'm in town. You know, I'm gonna be here for the next 5 days. This is what they do. This is what they do. You know, I remember when I was a little kid, and professional wrestling, Sergeant Slaughter, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Iron Sheik, all of them, they were like, storyline was they hated each other. You know, Sergeant Slaughter was a turncoat. Remember when he got up with General Adnan and all that, and all of a sudden, Hacksaw, Sarge, Iron Sheik, all of them, they were spotted in the same car, and somebody took a Polaroid of them together. You know, and it's like people, I can't believe it. This man, after he betrayed the country, the people, because they thought wrestling was really real deal, like he's really doing this. So now the country's going to war, things are happening. So let's actually take someone from that country. The Iron Sheik was actually, you know, doing things that, you know, people take this stuff so serious that somebody could easily just boom, you know. But he was doing his thing, and people hated Sergeant Slaughter for, you know, being a turncoat. So on the camera, they hate each other. When I see you, I'm gonna break your legs, and then all of a sudden, they're in the same car together. So this is all these boxers are doing. They pretend for the cameras, you guys feed into it, and it just turns me off because I know it's fake. I know it's BS. But this is what I'm saying. When you get people in their right mind, you see them at the right time, none of this nonsense is going on. It's when they get in front of the cameras and, you know, all the jumping on Twitter, I'd have knocked you out, you're a shit fighter, you fought nobody. This is all to get you guys talking. And they're playing you guys like puppets. They're pulling the strings and you're just doing the Bojangles dance for them. So, yeah, so some good came out of this, man. This was one of the, and doing this video was a video that's lighthearted. And out of all the videos I've done, this is one I can say is actually like good news. Not just because we got to fight. No. The nature of what's going on. And hopefully Canelo and Jermell go through this whole thing all the way up to the fight and after, respectfully. Class, act their age. Don't act, be your age. Be that mature adult. Not all of this fake beef knowing damn well it's just to sell tickets. And again, if you're going to sell tickets because of what people say, shame on you. Because when the fight falls short of what people say, or it's not what you thought it was going to be, or whatever, and they talked all that shit, you always hear it, all that shit, and look what happened. So you don't need all of that. You don't need all of that. You know, that's not entertainment to me. That's not passion. It's fake, it's immature, and it's just not necessary. So I want to say salute to Canelo, salute to Jermell Charlo, salute to Devin Haney, salute to Ryan Garcia. Because this is what boxing needs. Fighters, not actors. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all in the next video.